Honourable Speaker, sir, you most of all would understand travelling out at sea, in that there's always the risk. There's always the risk. You can plan for a trip in an ideal weather. You can plan for a trip with all the necessary life-saving apparatus or equipment on board, good boat. Nevertheless, there's always a risk that something is going to happen out there at sea. And the incident that our staff faced traveling from Moce to Oneata has taught us many lessons. And a few I wish to share with honourable members today. First of all, the ministry takes the safety and well-being of our health workers very seriously, particularly those serving in the maritime islands. The recent incident involving staff travelling from Moce to Oneata has reinforced the need to strengthen safety measures for maritime operations while also reducing the need for unnecessary travel through stronger local health services. And to prevent recurrence, the ministry is implementing several measures. Firstly, we are bringing healthcare closer to our maritime communities with the recent posting of 12 additional medical officers in the Eastern Division. Moce Nursing Station has for the first time been allocated a medical officer. So prior to that, it's a nursing station. This is something that will be elevated as a health center in the not too distant future, but nevertheless, a medical officer is being posted there. And this will reduce the need for patients and health workers to undertake unnecessary travels to Lakamba for routine health services. Secondly, we're seeking more structured arrangement to prioritize the government vessel MV Vegweti for planned medical outreaches. And MV Vegweti is already used for major multidisciplinary outreaches and has the capacity to safely transport large outreach teams. The ministry will also explore additional funding to support its operations and readiness so that it is available when required for health services. Thirdly, for smaller outreaches, where larger vessels cannot access remote channel communities, we will reinforce the two-vessel approach if an extra vessel is available, to allow vessels to travel together and provide assistance to one another in the event of mechanical failure or other emergencies. Fourthly, the ministry will strengthen maritime safety through standard pre-departure checks, including verification of vessel seaworthiness, weather assessment, qualified skipper and crew, sufficient fuel reserves, life jackets for all passengers, communication equipment, emergency supplies, and where feasible, GPS tracking. Fifth, we are strengthening authorization, coordination, and overdue vessel response procedures. All outreach activities must follow established approval pathways, have documented departure and arrival times, and be subject to clear escalation arrangements if a vessel becomes overdue. The Speaker, another issue identified through this incident is the challenge of maintaining outreach activities during the fourth quarter of the financial year, when outreach funding is traditionally wound down. However, community health needs continue throughout the year. The ministry will therefore examine greater financial flexibility so that appropriately planned and authorized essential outreaches can continue during the fourth quarter, where there is a demonstrated need and the resources permit. This will help ensure that frontline teams are not placed in situations where critical community needs arise when normal outreach funding has already ceased. Finally, we are strengthening standard operating procedures for emergency patient transfers and clarifying subdivisional command responsibilities to ensure effective oversight of outreach activities and maritime emergencies. Mr. Speaker, our objective is clear: to make maritime outreach safer, better coordinated, and better funded, while progressively bringing healthcare closer to our maritime communities so that both patients and health staff are exposed to less unnecessary sea travel. As someone who has served in the maritime area of the Western Division, I can say with certainty that things have improved. in terms of maritime travel for our staff. But nevertheless, as I mentioned at the outset, there's always the risk, and it's how you minimize the risk and how you, if something happens, how you adapt to your survival mode. And as I mentioned, these are survivors here, and I welcome the suggestion on recognition from government in that sense, and that is something we will look into. But in moving forward, and as I've told our staff, look, you have a story to tell, but when you are ready, then you can share your story on how you survived, probably something that can be, that we can share with our staff and those civil servants who are out there in the maritime areas, the art of survival at sea. But nevertheless, we are thankful to God that they have survived and that they are well and they are still in the recovery phase in terms of the care provided to them by the ministry.